Let's get to our full set. So I'll just keep on mentioning some of these things as we start into them. Right away, here's that sense of engagement down into your legs. And if you are ever wanting to play with it, you can even just slightly release the pressure with one foot or the other, really sort of feel how that affects your lower back so that you really get a sense of engagement through your legs. And now we go into our rocking position. So I come out to the left and straightening with my knees, come back, straightening with my knees as I come forward. And I'm just going to go a little slower at the beginning so that you really have a chance to feel how this awakened connection with your legs and your pelvis one of the things that's worthwhile knowing is that if you ever feel that you're a little rocky on your legs, maybe you're starting to get a lot of energy moving and your legs are starting to feel really jiggly, for example, go to sitting. Just let that grounding come down through your pelvis so that you get the benefits of the movement. And the grounding still has a chance to happen down the spine and into your pelvis. We'll do 2 more here. Back and just starting to explore that connection through your hands. And 1 more. So as you come up, you're sinking, feel that connection of hands coming up, sinking across into that right leg as the left leg comes up and down into graceful conclusion. Now we'll go into our bird flaps at swings, so gather the charge and release. Second time. And the 3rd time around, just feeling how it frees things up to kind of let those wrist circles happen, charging again. Release, letting that sink happen into your legs and feet. Sink. And the 3rd time around, just letting that freedom of opening and then coming in 1 more time, compressing, sink. Pressing. And around. And then gently coming up. And I'm going to do each of these movements 6 times. So here we come with our first platter. And forward. Just starting to get that feel of how you might be just in water up to your waist and just kind of getting a sense of how that movement. And we'll do 2 more, coming back. Here we go forward. And 1 more time around. And back. Okay, now right here, let's slow it down. I want you to get the feel of right here is a place where as you come back, kind of get a sense of how you can kind of let that leg really carry you so that the sinking, you're not so much going down, but really letting that energy go down into that right leg. And then the second side, sinking down and forward. I'm going to come around a little bit slower this time. Watch how, if I just slow it down, feel how that connection happens right down through your body. I'm going to come back and just speed it up a little bit again. And 1 more time around. And back. Right there again, just feel that transition point, or just at the point where your foot's going to come off the ground, that you really drop with that. and support it. And so you know, it's never a problem to kind of come back and go, did I really get that feel of that place? And just to try it again, just to give it, really give it to yourself. It's like a gift to yourself. Now we'll go in the variation. Gathering. So that at any point in your practice, you could come, like, for example, here I come forward again. Any point in here, you could just slow down and to really get the feel of, where's the engagement of the charge through my hands, and how much am I underneath that with my body? And just to kind of feel how you get that connection. And then once you've got that a bit, come back around and revisit it and see what's that like now. We'll come around one more time. Engage, release. And then the second side. And just letting your breath awaken to how its place in these movements contributes to the whole community reorganization within your organism. Forward, we'll come back around, and one more time, forward and back. And there's another place where just at the point where your leg comes off, you can kind of feel, stop and let your body reorganize around that. And now we do the bass drum. So here's another place, just as you come into this, just feeling how much am I underneath this and letting that grounding happen. Sense of Dan Chen connection, connecting down into your lower body. And then down and forward. And one more time around. And back. And then second side. Down and forward. And as you come down, let's slow this one down too. Can you feel that if you just slow it down as you come forward, as your hands come down, there's this like connecting down into your legs, into your lower body that happens with that downward movement. And then coming back. So it becomes a very important part of bass drum, that it has that kind of reaching downward, getting the start of that wave by going right into the depths of it. And back, and we'll come around one more time. And back. Now the daughter in the mountaintop. So here's another place that I'd like you to just get the feel of. Watch what happens as you open your hands like this. There's a really important piece that this does, where on one hand it opens you sort of to awareness of the outside world, but at the same time it does it in a way that it engages you into your center and down into your legs, into your core. one way that you can play with this is, for example, say if you were out on a walk and you just tried to just infinitesimally just open your hands just a little bit. It doesn't take much. It's just like a little micro movement sometimes. And you'll notice that it actually reorients you a lot. Like you might notice the world around you, you know, that you weren't, well, because you were lost in your thoughts a moment ago or something. And just doing that slight opening helps you kind of be a little bit more here and present in yourself and a little bit more aware of what's happening around you. So let's try how that movement works for us in Daughter in the Mountaintop. So opening, and then forward and drawing down. Down. We're going to come to another stopping point right about here. Just feel how that engages through your center. What's happening in the Danchen as you come into this place. And then from that place, feel how you can stay connected to those effects as you come down. And then we'll bring it back up to speed again. We'll do one more time after this. Forward and back. And then the second side. One more time, coming around, forward and back. And there's this wonderful opening that happens here as you come back and in. Very different from the bass drum, for example. And then Daughter in the Valley. And down. So this is another place where as you come in and gather down here, it's got that similar kind of feeling to the bass drum, where as you come down, it really gives you a chance, if you stop right here, to feel how this could be a really deep place of being in the world, where you're just kind of meeting with the world with your energy down here and then coming forward. We'll come around one more time just to kind of get the feel of that. And back. Just really let that sink. Where's that pelvic floor? Where's that sense of feet? What happens if I just slightly release the right foot off the ground and press down with my right hand just a little bit and then let it come back? Same thing with the left hand. Back and then revisit that place. Okay, so now we will carry the ball to the side. I don't think I did the right side with that. Here we go. So, Daughter in the Valley. Back, gather, feel that connection happening right down here. So you can see how in a movement like this, forward, there's so many opportunities to deepen into the simplicity of it. And here's our last time forward. And one of the important ones is just slowing down or stopping in any particular place and just getting a feel for what it does there. And now we'll get ourselves ready for carry the ball to the side. So here we come into that point I was talking about before, where there's that raising your hands up toward the shoulder and just feeling the connection down into that right leg, so that by the time you come up to your shoulder, there's so much connection into that right leg that the left leg is starting to lighten up all by itself already. And then coming across. And stepping in with your right foot. And across again. And stepping in. And the third time. Feeling that backhand a little more substantial, stepping in. Slight pause and sinking. Now you get to sink into the left as your hand comes up. And just hang out there for a moment. Let your hip and leg reorganize a bit until it really supports you. And then your left leg or your right leg can come out and across. One more time across, and the left leg comes in, briefest pause, and sinking and across. So if we ever get back to pools, this is something that you could actually try either in the ocean or in a pool, of just getting yourself about waist high and then feeling what it's like to just move with that little bit of extra pressure and support for your lower body as you move through the water. And here we come across our last time. And so once again there, like if you just wait a moment, let that right leg support you, you'll find that your body actually finds a little bit more of how it needs to be for that left leg to come in with greater ease. Here we go with the push-pull. So here again, can you feel how just as you sink into this, your hands coming up can help you drop and drop and drop and drop. And you could just hang out here. I mean, if you took 30 seconds to hang out here at any particular time that you had time, you'd find that there was so much that you learned just at the interface of this beginning to lift and then going away from it, maybe trying it with the other side, and then coming back. And you'll find that if you give your body space to kind of learn from some little piece you gave it, when you come back 30 seconds later, it's way more intelligent all of a sudden and is able to just move through something that you might have been just glossing over, a place of disorganization within yourself. And that the slowing down or stopping at a place and really letting your body have a chance to reorganize allows you to really do that. Shifting and dropping in. Forward, and we'll come back, and then one more time after this. Here we go. That right hand a little more substantial, and back. And forward. And one more time. And back. Now watch how there's a similar thing as you go into pulling in the energy. It's just, even with this turning of your hands, there's like this connection that can happen as you sink that really goes into the Dan Chen and really gives you this engagement through the front of your body. And then at that point, once you really feel like you're underneath it, then your leg can just start to come forward and start to support the movement. Forward. And of course, not to miss that connection right through the fingertips. Engaging with that heavy air. And back. And then perhaps just playing again with that feel that your lower body is just moving through a pool of water to support this very energetic upper movement that happens. We'll do two more. Forward one last time. And back. And then the second side, just that drawing up, sinking and forward through the fingertips. One more time around, coming back and then forward through that deep water in your lower body, and then rising and sinking. So now we'll go into the Tafis. So the first one, here's another place where you get that kind of drawing across and sinking. It's not as powerful as the kind of drawing up that happens with carry the ball to the side, but there's this gentle sweeping that happens across here that really helps you commit into that right leg so that your left leg can come across and support you. And then the same thing here, kind of a lifting of that right leg as you come in. Sweeping across to the left, stepping across to the right. And these sideways movements become a real place where you can start to experiment